Hi everyone, I'm DJ Kearney and I'm here at Okanagan Crush Pad Winery. We're in Summerland, we're in the Okanagan Valley, and we're in a very, very special place. For the last many decades, I've been traveling the wine world, tasting, learning, writing, teaching. I've trained thousands of sommeliers throughout North America, and all of that experience has allowed me to recognize how special this place is. This is a very special winery. It's about thought leadership, innovation, cutting edge, brilliant farming, and minimal intervention at the winemaking stage. We are about to taste pure whites. That's the name of this collection, and it embraces the four most important white wine grapes in the world. We have Pinot Blanc, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, and Riesling. These wines are racy, expressive, so individual, all made slightly different ways, so let's get into it. Pure whites. Let's start with Pinot Blanc. I am going to open the screw cap. That's one of the innovations at Okanagan Crush Pad Winery is everything except the sparkling wines is sealed with a screw cap, a brilliant way to close wine, to keep it safe from oxygen, and it's easy to take on and off. So Pinot Blanc, this is a grape that is related to Pinot Noir and it's related to Pinot Gris. It's one of the best grapes in the Okanagan Valley. We have a little more Pinot Gris planted, but Pinot Blanc is an absolute superstar. To me, this grape is all about yellow apples and melons. I can smell both of those on the nose of this wine. There's something beautifully floral. It's a little bit honeyed and citrusy, lemons. I'm gonna taste lots of mouth-watering acidity, I bet. Wow, is that good? It's full of mouth-watering acidity. I can taste the yellow fruit, apples, melons. It's a little bit honeyed. Fantastic acidity, fantastic balance. There's an intensity and a purity. Especially on the finish, you'll notice something a little salty. That's a statement about the vineyard. This fruit comes from Skaha Lake, that's just a little bit south of here, on a wonderful vineyard. You can taste the warmth and ripeness in this, but it's also racy and streamlined. It's a beautiful food wine, but you could absolutely have a glass all on its own, but you could pair it with some chicken, you could put it to work with salmon, that's an excellent pairing, or you could be much more casual, throw together some fish tacos and serve narrative Pinot Blanc. We're gonna follow this with Chardonnay, a very special wine from Seacrest Mountain. I am about to dive into Haywire's Seacrest Mountain Chardonnay from the 2018 vintage. Full confession, this is one of my favorite wines made here. I love Chardonnay, and one of my goals as a wine instructor is to get people to fall in love with Chardonnay all over again. It's easy to do with this one. There's no oak in it, so if that's what you fear in Chardonnay, this is for you. So, let me tell you how it's made first, and then we'll relate that to how it tastes. So these are whole clusters of Chardonnay that are pressed and then put into the concrete tanks that you see behind me. What that does is it builds up a lot of texture in the wine, and the reason I love this is it's just so mouth-coating and so full-bodied. Chardonnay, all about peaches, lemons, apples. This has such a citrusy tang already on the nose. I'm gonna taste it and I'm ready for racy, cleansing acidity. Wow. Don't rush this one. It really needs your attention. So it tastes of the fruits that I mentioned. Beautiful, ripe Okanagan peaches, apple, pear, and a really, really intense, lemony finish. It's weighty, right? You can really feel the structure and the weight and intensity. Aging in the tanks for almost a year on the lees builds this wonderful creamy texture and adds a toasty richness. There's not a speck of oak. It doesn't need it, it doesn't miss it. What you get is this wonderful energy and purity of Chardonnay. It's such a great wine. I'm excited even talking about it. Put it to work with food. This is absolutely built for salmon is in the running, barbecued chicken. It can handle some heat. So if I wanted to make some, chicken wings with Frank's sauce, it can be that casual, or you can dress it up, have it with a veal chop, or have it with some halibut. Smoked salmon would be a natural as well. Haywire Seacrest Mountain Vineyard Chardonnay. It's a stunner from Haywire. I hate to put it down and move on to the next wine, but we've got a fabulous one. It is Sauvignon Blanc from the Freeform range. So next up is Freeform Sauvignon Blanc from the 2018 vintage. I don't know if you can see through the bottle, but it's a little bit hazy. That's absolutely natural. The wine is meant to be that way. Freeform is all about minimal intervention. That means they don't fine or filter the wines. So if it's a little bit hazy, that's a good thing. I'm going to pour myself a nice pint. Sauvignon Blanc, another grape from France. Fun fact, this is one of the parents of Cabernet Sauvignon. So, a French grape so famous in regions like Sancerre and Puy-Fumé, but put it in the right place in the Okanagan Valley and you've got something very, very special. Sauvignon Blanc is all about grapefruit and lemon and guava. You'll always find something savory though, something herbaceous, something a little bit grassy. Ooh, and that's exactly what this wine smells like. It's almost tropical. It has this lovely guava scent, but I can absolutely smell something sagey and pungent from the Okanagan. Now, this is what we call a skin contact wine. When white wines are made, usually the grapes are pressed, the juice is separated from the solids, and just the juice is fermented. Red wines are different. They ferment on the skins. This wine has been made a little bit like a red wine in that it's allowed to ferment on the skins for a bit. What that does is add to the texture and weight. There's almost a little drying effect like tannins. We call it phenolic, so it's grippy and textured in the mouth. So there's a complex fermentation here. It started out in very small stainless steel tanks, and then it went to the clay amphora. So just like ancient wine was made, it spends a lot of time in that wonderful clay vessel, and that helps build texture in the wine as well. You want to have a really great pairing? Try this with goat's cheese. It's classic in France and it's really classic in the Okanagan. Get some local goat's cheese and try it with this wine. Put goat's cheese into a salad. If you wanted to try something else that wasn't cheese, you could have this with some grilled chicken and pick up on the herbal aspects of this wine. Marinate your chicken overnight in herbs and garlic, and you'll really bring out the lovely subtle nuance of herbs in this wine. Freeform Sauvignon Blanc, amphora fermented, skin contact, a little bit hazy, freestyle, freeform. So the only way you could follow Freeform Sauvignon Blanc is with narrative Riesling. So let's give that a try. So the final star in our Pure Whites pack is Riesling from the Narrative series. So note the bottle, this is called a flute, and this is very traditional for any wine that involves Riesling. Germany's great white grape, but it is one of the most important grapes in the Okanagan Valley. We've developed a signature style here, and this wine from Narrative is a version of the sort of fruity, dry style. It smells like Riesling, and by that I mean there's a touch of petrol on the nose. Riesling actually has monoterpenes in its DNA, so that little whiff that's like gasoline or kerosene is absolutely natural in the wine. But following that comes this lemon and lime and Granny Smith apple. It has such an expressive and emphatic nose. Get ready for acidity. That's Riesling's calling card. So I'm bracing myself. Oh, can you spell succulent? This is really, really racy and bright. High acidity is natural, that's what we need to balance a little whisper of sweetness in this wine. It finishes dry, even though there's a touch of natural sugar. That makes it an amazing wine to pair with. By the way, it's a wild fermentation, as they all are in the Pure Whites pack. In fact, everything that's done at OCP is a wild or native yeast fermentation. That just helps amp up the purity of the wine. So all of that acid, you want to put this to work with anything rich. Pork belly, oh yeah. Anything with sausage or charcuterie, that's a natural. If you wanted to serve a baked brie or a triple cream cheese, that's going to be absolutely fantastic with this. Anything involving stone fruit, right? It's got a peachy, appley flavor, so you can make some stone fruit salsa, you can have some salmon, or you could just find yourself a nice hammock, a little bit of sunshine, and dig in. Narrative Riesling from the 2017 vintage. It's bracing, it's racy, it's cleansing, it's good. Well, that was fun. Thanks for tasting along with me. These are the Pure Whites, yet another stunning collection from Okanagan Crush Pad Winery. To me, this is a clinic in the Okanagan and what we do well. We have got Pinot Blanc and Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, skin contact, and a racy Blade Runner of a Riesling. They're delicious on their own, but they are so versatile. They're going to entice you into the kitchen and get cooking for them. They really embody what OCP does here. That is a dedication to organic farming, the use of native yeasts, screw caps all the way, purity and clarity, and the kinds of wines that are good for you, good for the environment. If you like these wines and want to learn more, log on to OkanaganCrushPad.com. You might consider joining the Winemakers Club. You get discounts and fantastic perks. I'm DJ Kearney, and thank you for spending your time tasting along with me.